Emerson's replacement, though one of the world's best dead ball exponents, Juninho Pernambucano, and striker Adriano, who scored on this ground in the final of the Confederations Cup against Argentina just 12 months ago, also sustained a knock in the win over Ghana. So Gilberto Silva, he steps up from the substitutes bench as well. With our referee from Spain, Luis Medina Cantalejo. He's so far had charge of Germany against Poland, Holland against Argentina, and Italy against Australia. And he's only seen 2 goals in those 3 games, the referee. I hope he sees a few more tonight. No changes for the French. Raymond Domenech leaves well alone in the wake of his side rediscovering its appetite for victory in the last 2 matches. Thierry Henry is the only out-and-out striker, so Florent Malouda and Franck Ribéry have important roles. They will both supply width to the attack and hopefully ammunition. We look at Carlos Alberto Pereira, who never played the game professionally, and Raymond Domenech, who certainly did. He was a gritty player for Olympique Lyonnais. The yellow cards going into the game for Brazil: Juan, who is a starter, and Adriano, who is a substitute. And for France, Patrick Vieira, Zinedine Zidane and Franck Ribéry. And I mention that because should any of those 3 pick up a yellow card tonight, they would miss the semi-final against Portugal in Munich next Wednesday. Well, Ronaldo looks a happy chap, and well he might. He's the new record holder for goals scored in World Cup finals, having overtaken the legendary German Gerd Müller in the last match against Ghana. 15 goals he has. And we're off and running with Brazil, need I tell you, in yellow and blue, France in all white. And the ball already with the other legend, Cafu. I can still see the pictures now of Cafu 4 years ago in Yokohama, receiving the World Cup trophy in a dazzling ceremony after the victory over Germany. It could end up as a repeat of that final, or it could, and this of course is a repeat of the 1998 final. Zeriberto. Strong, sturdy tackle in midfield, and Zidane will attempt to get away from Zeriberto. He's suddenly finding the magic, but Henry was in an offside position as Zidane tried to weave him through. Coming deep to pick things up, Gilberto Silva. Roberto Carlos. Then Kaká. There's the old Zidane magic. It had been said he'd lost it, but he's refound it in the last game. Sagnol played straight out. Important for both teams to try and start this game well. Oh, and that nearly got to Ronaldo, and it was almost a bad mistake in the heart of that French defence in the early couple of minutes. And Ronaldo has certainly rediscovered his zest and urge to score goals as Juninho Pernambucano ploughs away forward, but Cafu gets his feet all knotted up. Brazil, amazingly, have only ever beaten France once in a competitive fixture. And that, would you believe, was in 1958 in the World Cup semi-finals. Great romping run from Vieira, halted, however, in his tracks by Lucio. One or two indeterminate touches of the ball in the early stages, which suggests that the nerves are still there. Now Cafu plays with AC Milan at the moment, but the word is he's probably going to return to Brazil after the World Cup finals to join up with Sao Paulo. Roberto Carlos is staying well forward. There was no way he was going to retreat there. Oh, nice little touches around the edge of that area by Ronaldinho, the World Footballer of the Year. First free kick of the match goes Brazil's way, and it is won by the World Footballer of the Year, who really has to get going in these World Cup finals. We've not seen the best of Ronaldinho as yet. Maybe it's his time to come to the party. Now, I've said it before, there is no better taker of a free kick in world football than Juninho. He scored on this ground last year. He's already got 1 goal in these World Cup finals. He practices every single day, and what he does, he lines up a target only 6 yards in front of him and practices getting it over the top of that target, so that in reality, when it's like this, he knows exactly what to do, and he usually hits the target. I am warning you. It's Juninho Pernambucano. Barthez will know all about him from his days in France. It's almost Lyon versus Marseille, this. But I do reassure you, it's Brazil versus France. And it is Juninho, and it was about to get through, and it flicked off a French head and out for the corner. More practice needed. It was heading in the right direction, and Brazil have this corner. It is their first. Punched by Barthez, athletically so, to Cafu. Roberto Carlos to pick up the header. Comes away with it from the tackle by his Real Madrid colleague Zidane, who then fouls the opponent, and Brazil will have a second free kick. A little further out than their last one, though. Zidane, remember, has to be careful tonight, otherwise he'll be out of the semi-final. But then players would rather miss semi-finals than finals. Flighted in well. Was he offside? Yes, he was. It wouldn't have counted. Juan stealing forward. The defender who knows all about playing here in Germany. He's in the Bayer Leverkusen squad. France haven't got going yet. Dida has been a spectator at the one end of the field. Here is Eric Abidal, one of the considerable contingent from Olympique Lyonnais. Covered by Lucio this time. Bright start for Brazil, less so for the French, but here is Gallas. On to Sagnol, another who plays here in Germany at Bayern Munich. Now Patrick Vieira, scorer of goals in the last 2 games. Zidane taking the ball away from Gilberto Silva. Then it's Malouda. Abidal, Malouda just gets a toe end on this. And the Spanish referee quite firm in his decision here, but a look to the heavens from Raymond Domenech. Well, we've seen that from few coaches, inquisitive about decisions. And Lucio with the take here for Brazil. The last time these sides met was in Paris, a FIFA celebration match which ended 0-0. Well, Abidal made something of what was effectively a poor clearance, and Henry is forward. Well broken up, though, by the enforcer, Gilberto Silva, playing the Emerson role. It's up here for Ronaldinho. He's going to be given off. He might think he started level there with William Gallas. Well, he didn't. It's a good decision. So remember, only Carlos Alberto Pereira here, only his Brazil team left to represent the rest of the world against Europe in the Final Four, with Germany, Italy and now Portugal going through. That's found Henry. Not for long. Kaká. Ronaldinho, there was a stumble, but it's actually opened the door for Zé Roberto here. And an excellent tackle on him by Gallas. Zidane, 2 white shirts ahead of him. Zidane will hit the longer ball. It's a raking pass, but it's too close to Dida. And Henry clasps his hands to his mouth, as he often does in that famous Gallic expression. And Roberto Carlos is sprinting away in famous Brazilian fashion. Zé Roberto scorer of a goal in the last game. He didn't get many goals in his time at Bayern Munich, and I'm told he's on his way to Greece soon. Here goes Carlos, who's still got the old explosive pace. May get a corner. Yes, he does. Brazil lead 2-0 on corner kicks. 50-50 decision, actually, and it's gone against Villisagnol. He hasn't got many goals for Bayern Munich either, but then he's a full-back. Short. Carlos, he'll thump it. Yeah, I thought he would. He thumped it much too hard and nearly decapitated a cameraman. The header from Henry only steers the ball to Juan. And across with Roberto Carlos. Cafu showed too much of the ball to the opponent. But eventually gets his pass into Zé Roberto. Ronaldo. Cafu. It's gone out. Football supporters are very imaginative, both in the songs that they sing and in the clothes that they wear these days. And there are 6 Brazilians here with stars on their heads, with the years 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994 and 2002, which just happened to be the years that Brazil won the World Cup. And the 6th member spelling out Brazil had 2006 on his head. I wonder. They're certainly getting a surfeit of free kicks and corners from the Spanish official as we hit 10 minutes with a Ronaldinho free kick. Lucio will be forward, Juan will be forward. Only Roberto Carlos stays back in the vicinity of the halfway line. As Brazil look for the early lead, we saw one last night for Italy, which really deflated Ukraine. And referee Cantalejo still wants Makelele to retreat another 6 inches. That's all. Thank you, Claude. He's probably moved back now. Anyway, it's a Ronaldinho free kick, which has got a cross, and there's a chance. And it was a Ronaldo chance, a header for the centre forward, which he steered over and not beneath the bar. Just a bit too much elevation on him as he craned the neck. Ronaldo looking to add to his 3 goals at these finals. Top scorer 4 years ago in Korea and Japan. Well, the French have come into this game very confident on the heels of their last success. And here goes Malouda, kept at bay by Lucio. Makelele, a good win of the ball. To be kept in here by Sagnol. He's done that successfully. Movement in the area. It's a cross to the left-hand side and to Thierry Henry, who'll have a crack from here. And the ball scuds away off Lucio's head and knocks him out just about. Now the power of the shot stunned the Brazilian defender. Well, I'm cynically saying he watched where the ball went first before he went to ground. I think Lucio will be all right, and I don't think he'll have too much of a headache. It used to be horrible when the ball had stitches in it. You could get some very nasty wounds in the old days. Carlos Alberto Pereira there, one of the few men who has coached many a team at World Cup finals. He also coached Kuwait, United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia at the finals. Winner, of course, in 1994. And Lucio is still coming round as he walks along the goal line. So the Brazilians are still down to 10 for the moment, and France have an attack going here with some space for Makelele and across too. If this one is played across by Henry, it will require a desperate clearance by Roberto Carlos. Killed by Zidane. Space opening up now for Sanyol, who'll try his luck. It's flicked away here, and Lucio's recovered, back on the field, and gets a more comfortable header away than the last one. The French are going to get the next free kick for Ronaldo's hustling and bustling on Makelele, his old pal from Real Madrid days a few years ago. Well, it really did require Roberto Carlos in there for Brazil. Short and quickly done, and Makelele cross into the penalty area. There might just be something here, and they're all around the ball, and surely somebody's going to win a corner out of this, and that somebody is the hard-working Makelele, born in Kinshasa. Thuram appealing, and the referee agreed with his assertion. France's first corner of the night here in Frankfurt. So some defending for the world champions to do, and they do it well, but it's coming back, and it's coming back very high as well from Ribéry. That was into about row Q, I reckon. Scored the first goal, his first goal for his country in the victory over Spain. But that threatened nothing. Brazil 0, France 0, just inside the first quarter of an hour. And Ronaldo emerges with the ball at his boot. And he might get it back again in a potentially dangerous zone here. Threading it through. Here goes Ronaldo now. Will pull it back in. It was a decent enough chance. Kaka was storming in on that one, and the slightest of contact might have nudged the ball into the French net. There was no contact to French relief, and they attack with Malouda. And with the elegant Henry, but he's railroaded out of this one by Lucio. Now, Brazil always play with a bank of 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 strikers, and Ronaldinho has gone up into a striking position alongside Ronaldo tonight in the absence of Adriano, the Inter Milan striker, who has 2 goals in the competition. Just had a slightest of knocks in the last match. I think he'll be back for the semi-final. He's a bit of a favourite of Carlos Alberto Pereira. And the other reasoning behind this is that Ronaldinho needs a goal in these World Cup finals. He's not got one as yet. Here he is on the ball now, and he's desperate for one. And here he goes, and again he tries to thread it inside the defender. A lot of work to be done here, however. And there was again too much pace on the pass. Just. So we get a toothy grin. Brazil dominating possession. He was only just overweighted. And I'm not talking Ronaldo there. Lovely close-up of the ball that's been used here at these FIFA World Cup finals for 2006, and although that ball is hoofed away by the Brazilian defence, it's going to come their way again for the foul here on Vieira. And the free kick is for the French, and it's taken already, and Sanyol will storm onto this ball, knowing there are about 3 Frenchmen across the centre. That's virtually the first touch of the ball Dida's had. The regular number 1 for Brazil these days, having been number 2 to Marcos 4 years ago, and Tafarel before that. Firmly established now, Dida. Juan. Well, we're really getting close to the climax of these World Cup finals now. 4 games to go after this one, that's all, and the party will be over. A party that billions have enjoyed, not those who've been fortunate enough to come to all the matches here, but the billions watching around the world. And they'll all be tuning in tonight, I know that. Everywhere from Addis Ababa to Zimbabwe. Such is the global nature of this contest. And Brazil play some lovely football there. It's into Ronaldo from Ronaldinho. Barthez was smart. And again, justifying his coach's decision to make him the #1 Barthez ahead of Gregory Coupé. A decision which didn't go down too well with the other French keeper. They've managed to release Malouda, who's pacey. His cross was to nobody in particular, but still Roberto Carlos sends it spinning out for a throw-in. To the French. Ribéry. Ribéry definitely a contender for man of the match against Spain. Now it's Zidane. Then it will be Sagnol. .5 minutes played here in Frankfurt. Neither side gaining an advantage as yet. We've not seen a goal scored anywhere today, apart from penalty goals in a shootout. And there weren't too many of those successful ones either. The French coming into the game a little more now. That was intended for Malouda, but he hadn't guessed, or second-guessed, Ribéry's intentions. It's into Henry. He was offside. On the far side of the field, Medina Hernandez making that decision. And again, we credit him with a correct call. But we saw the other evening this Spanish played a dangerous game in being caught square by France, and Ribéry took full advantage. Cafu now for Brazil. Juninho. This Juninho, by the way, also called Pernambucano after a village where he comes from, and not to be confused with the other Juninho who played for Brazil at the last World Cup finals. Just as the Gilberto Silva here in midfield is not to be confused with the defender Gilberto, who may come on later. He's one of the substitutes. 20 minutes played. Brazil 0, France 0. Lucio rides the first tackle. He'll be forward in company with all the rest here, but that ball is too far ahead of Ronaldo. There's Mario Zagallo on the left of Pereira, just out of shot. There he is, just poking his head in. The assistant manager and one of the greatest names in Brazilian football history. Sagnol. Long for Henry. Yeah, he's won the corner out of this. He was 1-on-2, but he's done well enough to get a corner for France. And it will be their second, so they've equalled the Brazilian tally now. Florent Malouda, one of the Lyon players, looks as though he's going to swing it into the goalkeeper. No foul given. And I'm not surprised by the decision. I never thought there was. But Brazil do have a break here, and it's opening up through the middle for them. Oh, what a disappointing ball this one is, however. From Cafu, who launched it long over Ronaldo. That's where Vieira went down. No question of a foul by Lucio, and the referee had a good view of all of that. He didn't consider it a dive, however. Thuram on to Gallas, and then further along the line to Eric Abidal, one of the newcomers in the side since the retirement of Vicente Lizarazu, that fine servant of French football and German football at Bayern Munich. There's a push in the back here by Gilberto Silva. So France with the free kick. We await the first goal of the game. It's France who are looking for it now with Zidane. We all know he's capable of hawking one out. It's Malouda. Oh, that's a very weak finish from Malouda, who's been preferred in the starting lineup to the likes of Sylvain Wiltord or Sidney Govou. Raymond Domenech, who took much criticism in the French press in the build-up to the World Cup finals, has so far done an excellent job in steering his team this far. He also has two class strikers in David Trezeguet and Louis Saha to call upon. They've seen very little action Makelele, now of Chelsea, of course. Well picked out, good piece of defending there by Juan. France already have it back. Just look how Zidane just kills the ball stone dead with his toe end. Ronaldo just unable to intercept. Though playing a dangerous game on halfway. Sanyol. People always concentrate on the wonderful gifts and attacking skills of the Brazilians, but they often forget that they're a very good defending team too, as Lucio proves there. Calmly nodding the ball down to Cafu, who instigates another move forward in company with Kaká. Well, the long-leggy Abidal almost took the ball away from Cafu. I think, well, that's going to be a yellow card shown to the Brazilian captain, Cafu. He did get a caution earlier in the competition, but not in the last match, so he can still play in the semi-final should Brazil make it through. Portugal awaits the winner. Zidane. Has that wonderful ability to look up and assess a situation and just keep on running until something appears for him. Juninho losing the possession there. Hooked away by Gilberto Silva. And the two goalkeepers will be very pleased by the fact that neither has been called upon to make a proper save as yet. Malouda for France. Henry trying to make space ahead, but the ball again magnetised by Lucio's forehead. And then magnetised by Makelele in being given it back. Brazil just enjoying a greater share of the ball. Not by a significant amount. So Makelele. Too short, but they've got the free kick. The indiscretion by Lucio on Henry. Well, we saw Brazil have a free kick in a similar area quite early on that, when Juninho's shot was deflected out for a corner. Let's see what the French can do in similar circumstances. A highly focused man at the moment, Zinedine Zidane, who believes it's his destiny to win the World Cup for a second time and to erase that horrible memory of 4 years ago in Korea when France went home without even scoring a goal. The worst defence ever by any defending champions. Even Ronaldinho's coming back now, and he wasn't going to do originally. Can Zidane achieve the breakthrough here? No, it's too high. Well, it happens. Some you get right, some you get pretty horribly wrong. And that was in the latter category. 26 minutes played, still Brazil 0, France 0. And I wonder if we're in for a third penalty shootout in 4 quarter-finals. That's the route that Germany and Portugal have taken. Only Italy have gone through in the 90 minutes of normal time. Here goes Makelele now. Seeing a lot of the ball, Claude Makelele. Now it's Zidane, sweeps it for Abidal. That's beyond Henry, and there was not much thought about that pass, to be fair. Zidane is coming back to his magisterial best. Abidal. The French press have been saying it's one last hurrah from their captain, and that was vintage Zidane again. Abidal's forward here to Malouda, curling cross, and has to be acrobatically put out of harm's way by Roberto Carlos. The most teasing cross Malouda's played so far. Well, that's what he does best, and nobody else in the world does it quite like Zizou. Should be an acrobat, shouldn't he? Corner France, 0-0 the score, and it was a dangerous ploy. Well, it was a dangerous free kick because Lilian Thuram went racing towards the ball, and so did Gallas. But it yielded nothing for the French. It's going to be another closely fought contest. One mistake could decide this one, or one flash of brilliance from somebody out there. And again, Brazil have been really unable to get Ronaldinho into the game as they would like. Here he is now. There's the flick. Now they have got him into it. Ronaldo's shot barged away. Well, the French have clearly been working on how they're going to mark Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, the two Ronnies, and they're doing it very adeptly at the moment. It's going to be a free kick for Ribéry here against Roberto Carlos. One player booked on the night so far, Cafu of Brazil. Well, France with Abidal moving forward. Only Henry, though, in a very isolated central position. So they have to discover other avenues, and Zidane for once loses his way. Forgot to take the ball with him, so it's Zeriberto. Not caught, says the referee, by Makelele, who thanks him as he runs past. Makelele, I imagine, speaks Spanish after all those years with Real Madrid. Forward for Henry now, one-on-one with Juan. That takes a bit of saying, one-on-one with Juan. Half an hour gone by, and we await the break. It is Makelele. We've seen one or two unlikely scorers in matches at these World Cup finals. One last night in Gianluca Zambrotta of Italy, scoring for only the second time in his career. I wonder if Sagnol or Makelele can come up with a goal tonight. Well, it's the French turn, and it is their corner from Malouda, and Dida. It's a crowded area. He does well to punch it as far as Ribéry. Back in here, and offside. Well, there's hardly been a clear-cut chance. Brazil have had 2 shots on goal so far, France 3, and only 1 of the 5 shots between the two teams has been on target. So those who were hoping for a feast of goals and extravaganza are disappointed right now. 31 minutes played, but always the further you go in competitions, major competitions like this, the goals tend to dry up a bit. And we got well over a century of goals in the opening phase. But certainly in the second round and the quarter-finals, goals much harder to come by. Going back and picking the ball up is Juninho. You do wonder if burnout figures with some of the players. Ronaldinho had an exhausting European season with Barcelona, not just in La Liga, in Spain, of course, but in the Champions League as well, with his team going all the way to a victorious finale in Paris against Arsenal. And he really hasn't sparked into life at these finals, but it's his Arsenal opponent in that match, Gilberto Silva, who gives away the latest free kick. No, it isn't that. Oh, it is, yes, I thought it was. Gilberto Silva in place of Emerson tonight in that holding role in midfield. Zidane to orchestrate. Thuram will be forward here. And will get his head to the ball in the danger area. It's cleared by Juan, however. Just 12 minutes remain in the first half in Frankfurt. Sounds like a jumbo jet roaring overhead right now. But nobody's taken off on the field as yet. It's still 0-0. And we may have a long wait for a goal, the way the game is shaping up. Ribéry has got a flailing arm, I fancy, maybe here from Roberto Carlos. There, the left arm came out, caught him across the chest. Henry says to the official, you should be looking out for that. Nothing was given. Zidane beaten on the jump there by Gilberto Silva. Well, the Brazilian defensive pattern is excellent. They've got those four at the back, and the two centre halves have been a real rock for them. They've conceded only the one goal, surprisingly, to Japan in the entire tournament of Brazil. And they haven't lost a match in the World Cup finals since that 1998 final against the French in Paris. They were the winners, of course, without being beaten, winning all their matches 4 years ago in Korea and Japan. And they've won all their games here as well. And Kaká, he was a bit slow there. He got caught, paid the penalty. Henry, though, too casual. He gave it back to Brazil. Ronaldinho spinning and twisting and turning, but not emerging with the ball. Mistakes are plenty right now. What can hmelut achieve? Oh, nothing. Showed too much of it to Brazil. And there's been an uncharacteristic number of mistakes made. He's onside here. This is hmelut. Two defenders around him once again. And it is the defenders who are catching the eye in this game right now, rather than the attackers. Cafu still loves the game as much as ever, and he withstood a challenge there from Abidal. Still as fit as ever, Cafu, at the age of 36. I think it's fair to say it'll be his last World Cup finals. Well, that's a rather ungainly slice of the ball. Nil-nil, 10 minutes before half-time in Frankfurt. Away goes Sanyol. Always enjoyed his football here in Germany at Bayern Munich. Malouda. For Zidane, it's opening up a bit here, and he'll slip Abidal through. Cafu working hard to deny any space. It's going to be a war of attrition, is this one, unless somebody can open it up here. Maluta's ball has eluded everybody. Well, we know Roberto Carlos can kick a football with a pretty hefty left boot, but he hit that one a long way straight out. It's not quite been the captivating contest we imagined as yet. Too much at stake. We all know that goals change games, and it will only need one. And France might be looking for one here from a free kick, awarded against Cafu, who's already yellow-carded. Impossible. He's speaking French to the Spanish referee. Impossible. Yuri Jokeyev, one of the former French international players. What a good player he was as well, Yuri Jokeyev. So can Thierry Henry or Zinedine Zidane find a goal for us and find a goal for France in the match, which would really stun the world champions? Henry gives way to Zidane, and it's just over. Not a bad effort though, Hmelut's header. Spinning high, right into our lens. And Dida was unmoved. Dida will probably be fancying a penalty shootout. 4 shots so far from the French, just 2 from Brazil, who started well, but have faded somewhat in this game. The Brazilians now have not been anywhere near Fabian Barthez's goal for a long time. Ronaldinho. The final pass has not been good at all tonight from Pereira's side. I was saying that Dida might fancy the penalty shootout. He's got as good a record as any goalkeeper in the world over penalty shootouts. In the World Club Championship and the Champions League, he often turned out to be the hero. I wonder if it's going to be Dida's night again, or will it be Fabian Barthez maybe? A long way to go before we consider penalty shootouts, and France are trying to do something about that here now, and Zidane was backing in. Don't think there's much disputing that, but Cafu's going to have to be careful for a long time in this match. 50 minutes remain and 30 seconds. Roberto Carlos into Zé Roberto. He does try and put some purpose into the movement forward. Now it will be with Ronaldo. A flick of the right boot has dispatched it Cafu's way. He'll swing it in here, but too far. And again, it is that final pass, but to right. Well, they're having a great night. The weather has been absolutely phenomenal in Germany over the last month that we've been here. So a few suntans there. Zidane. The game's so easy for him. Ribéry, the Olympic Marseille player who had such a good season for his club in the UEFA Cup in particular. Will take it forward again here now. Remember, he scored the first goal before half-time in the game against the Spanish. Roundabout now it was as well. Hmelut, he's tricked his man here. It's a cross ball which will be played out of harm's way by Juan. Well, Hmelut is figuring prominently. And France have now overtaken Brazil in terms of ball possession. 55% to 45%. And here's Vieira, too long on the ball. But I wouldn't say it's been a 40-odd minutes to savour particularly. Great games need goal-mouth action. Of that there has been very little. I'm sure even Ronaldo's looking at one of those jets flying over. More visible to him than to us. Well, Hmelut really is seeing a lot of the ball, and he stroked this one up to Henry, but it's taken away from the record Arsenal goal scorer. Roberto Carlos, infield. Gilberto Silva knows exactly what his job is. He's a very accomplished musician, Gilberto Silva, by the way. Plays the mandolin. Not a lot of people knew that. Henry, the French won't be playing music there either. No harmony in that movement. So 2.5 minutes remain in the first half. Makelele doing his job again. Well, they've all been doing their jobs, but the trouble is they've cancelled one another out so far in this match. Totally. And it does need a Ronaldinho or a Kaká or a Zidane or an Henry to get the crowd buzzing. This is Roberto. Wriggles away from Henry, slips it into the path of Juninho. I don't think he can possibly have been going for goal there. All he managed to do was wind the opponent. Thierry Henry is also winded. That one right into the back of Sagnol, who felt it. And Brazil will try again. It doesn't get to Ronaldinho. It will get as far as Cafu. Dominic looks a bit concerned on the edge of his technical zone, and he had a right to be as well, but the cross is met by William Gallas. And Zidane breaks for France. Past one, past two, slips it brilliantly. A race through the middle here. Can they close him down, or will there be a card? And it's certainly a booking of what colour? It's Juan to be taken away. Big decision this for the referee. Yellow, I think that's right. It's yellow for Juan. The French will think he denied a goal-scoring opportunity. But Juan is out of the semi-final because it's his second consecutive caution. Really took Patrick Vieira out there. The referee with a massive call. Well, we all know how adept Vieira is in those circumstances. Juan disconsolate because he will miss the semi-final if, of course, Brazil make it through. The validity of the decision, I think, not much doubt about it. He's really taken the ankles of Patrick Vieira. Dominic's just having a word with the fourth official there and saying, should that not have been a red card? Well, did he deny him a goal-scoring opportunity? He was 25 yards out, maybe. Vieira okay to continue. Such a difficult man to mark, of course. And he romped onto Zidane's pass. He was going to take some halting, that's for certain. And it just affords an opportunity for the French here to try and score before the break with the free kick as we move into added time. And the referee will take into consideration the length of this delay. So there will be over a minute to play. No Vieira on the field of play at the moment. Fourth official Mark Shield won't let him back on until after the free kick is taken. So it's going to be the responsibility, I imagine, of Zidane here, or maybe Henry. And how it would change the team talks if France were to score. Thuram is ushered away. It will be Henry. And he's given the penalty, has he? Or is it a free kick on the edge? It's a free kick on the edge for a handball. Whoa, another massive call from the referee. And another card, I think, coming out. Whose hand went up? Ronaldo's arm. Well, they're getting closer by the second. Henry shouted for the penalty, or a free kick, or whatever. Ronaldo is booked. It's his first caution. Big call. See, did it strike the arm? Did Ronaldo deliberately do that? Well, it's impossible to call, really. Impossible to say he would do it deliberately. With the ball so close to him, struck by Henry. Vieira's now back on, so they've a full 11 here. And these, I assure you, are key moments, because if France score, it turns the game on its head. Naturally, 11 Brazilians stand there good and true and firm, trying to make sure the ball doesn't get around that wall. Once more, that's a touch of déjà vu, to use a bit of French about this, from seconds ago. Maybe Zidane this time. It was Henry last time. Or maybe they'll slip it to Sagnol, of all people. They're certainly taking the time. He's going to blow the whistle for half-time if they're not careful here. Still, the Spanish official urges the Brazilians to withdraw by about a centimetre. Zidane, and he's played it straight at the wall. It's almost impossible to get it above them. The clearance is not a good one, and it's cleared now. That's a better one. The referee, I think, is going to say, let's cool it. Let's all go to the dressing rooms and have a breather. It's not been the best of halves, to be fair. We expected more. And Ronaldo's still arguing the point there with the referee. So we've had no goals, and there have been very, very few signs of any goals. Still all kisses and cuddles down on the touchline here. But it's not been dignified particularly. And at half-time here in Frankfurt, it's Brazil 0, France 0. Well, the referee from Spain, most significantly, has booked 3 Brazilians: captain Cafu, defender Juan, and striker Ronaldo, and that could be crucial later in the day if, of course, we come to the stage where we're considering penalty shootouts at extra time. But for that to happen, that means we'd have a scoreless 45 minutes, so let's hope that doesn't happen. Thuram. Lilian Thuram, what a servant he's been to the French game. Foul here. Once again, it's Juan who is seen as the offender. One of those on a caution, remonstrates with the referee. No chance for Zidane to take it quickly. Roberto Carlos wouldn't let him. He knows all his tricks, of course, from the Madrid practice ground. So France have had all the free kicks in the last couple of minutes, and here they have a chance of a goal. It's gone wide. Thierry Henry, head in hands. He has 2 goals in these World Cup finals. This might well have been goal number 3 for him. But it's steered wide. In fact, I think it was Vieira getting up in front of Henry, possibly. Yes, it was. Patrick Vieira, who scored in the last 2 matches, couldn't make it 3 in a row. But it may be significant that France have suddenly created chances from free kicks that they've been awarded. Here's Roberto for Brazil. And that's going to be another free kick against Vieira. One of those who also has to be careful. A booking for him would rule him out of a semi-final against Portugal. How nice it must be for the Portuguese to be just sitting there waiting and wondering who's it going to be. As if they care, really. They're in the semi-finals. Lucio with the free kick for Brazil. Gilberto Silva will give it back to Cafu. Sprightly as ever. And then Ronaldinho. Wins the corner. Just the 3rd of the night for the Brazilians. Well, he'll wait because there's nobody much up there yet. The heavy artillery arrives now. Brazil want to lead in this game and somehow found a way through all of those bodies. Back with Roberto Carlos, who's desperate to have a shot, I imagine. It shows he's lost nothing in that regard. Ronaldinho confronted by Abidal, drifts inside, plays it forward. Zé Roberto nearly falls over himself, but contrives the position to cross one in here. Oh, Bartes nearly made a howler. I think he got caught in no man's land there. And he was saying that nobody called, I don't think. So throwing for the Brazilians from Roberto Carlos. Still, we want a goal in the game. Still, Brazil have not had a shot on goal. Bartes is coming for it, loses it in the mix and picks it up again. There was nobody there to take advantage of the slight fumble by the eccentric French goalkeeper. Referee's taken a long time to make this decision. Eventually he does, and he gives the free kick, and Ronaldinho is confronted by 5 white shirts. Henry drifts away to that left flank that he so favours in his club football, and he's made a break like a greyhound. Here is Thierry Henry, only one to aim at in the centre, and Juan was there for Brazil. Well, we all know he's slick, Henry, and it's push and run time for him. No way Cafu's going to stop him, and what's more, he took on Lucio as well. There haven't been many goalless draws in this World Cup, but France did figure in one of them against the Swiss. Amazing, really. Switzerland went out of the World Cup without conceding a single goal. But they weren't very good at taking penalties, I'm afraid.